In this video, we will understand the difference between endl and new line, which is a slash n. Let me write a small example to explain this. And I'm using suppose we are using this out and hello in one line and world in another line. Okay. So what is my expectation? I'm expecting hello in one line and world in another line. Let's see how it prints on a console after running my program. I'm running the program. It's running currently. If you see, this is all printed in one line. Why? Because we haven't used any endl or next line here. Now let me use the endl function here. Okay. Now we got hello in one world and sorry, hello in one row and the world in another row. This is my expectation now. So by removing this, then can I achieve the same thing in another way? Let me check by writing the new line, which is a slash n at the end of the word keyword. And I'm running the program again. And again, I got the same output. And before when I used the handle, I got the same output. And using the new line, which is a slash n, also getting the same output. Then what is the use or what is the difference between these two? When should I use the handle and when should I use a new line? So to answer we'll going to answer this question shortly. Okay. Uh, in First, we'll understand characteristics of new line. So new line, which is a slash n, it just tells the system to move the cursor to the next line. After printing the hello world, then move the cursor here and print the world. That's it. That's what new line do. But now we'll see how endl work behind the scenes. Endl, it not only tells the system or compiler to move to the next line and print the world, it also flush out our output buffer. In last video, we discussed about uh, buffers, right? There are two kind of buffers. One is the input buffer and an output buffer. So instead of system captures the each word that we type and it keeps all words in one place. And once it is filled or terminate or whenever you use some specific functions like endl, then only it flush or it produces the output on our console. That is what it do. Okay. So in this output buffer, what is happening? Or endl, by using the endl function, what is happening? It inserting the new line. It also flushing the output buffer. Okay. So flushing means sending the buffered output to our console immediately or to the screen immediately. So what are the different ways we can flush out or buffer output? By using the endl or flush. Okay, I mean to say whenever we use std endl, it tells system to go to the next line and also flush out immediately and print the output on a console. Okay, this is the one way, and another one is flush. Whenever you use the flush keyword also, it produces the output immediately. Okay, so if I'm choosing one or two lines output, then it make doesn't any difference. When we see the major difference, suppose I want to give you one analogy for this one. A two players are playing a you know caroms or any game, indoor games, and all audience are sitting at outside of the house. Okay. So whenever player one has to play, and whenever either player two or player one score get any score, then he has to come outside and announce the score to the audience. Now imagine, so each time any player get the point, and player one has to come outside and announce the point, and again go back to the game and play it, and again get the point, and again he has to come out and announce the point. So imagine there is a 100-point game. Then how much time does he take to go inside and out outside? It takes roughly, I mean, half an hour or 1 hour extra time to just to come out from the house and announcing the score and again going back. Okay. What if player announce the final score at the end of the game? It just take the 1 minute, right? Okay. The same way, endl is like announcing the score immediately, or every time player scores and has to come outside and announcing the score. That is the behavior of endl that do. Whereas new line, which is a slash n, it just announce one time. Okay, that is the major difference between handle and new line, which is a slash n. So when should we use handle and when should we use a new line, which is a slash n? So when we are expecting a performance kind of program, then better to avoid handle. Or also, suppose if I'm writing a for loop, okay, to print a number 100 times or 1000 times. So instead of writing, so I mean to say, suppose I write a for loop example. I haven't explained what is for loop yet, but I'll explain in a future. But for example, I'm just uh, writing this a small example. So suppose I want to print 10,000 times of, you know, let me write a steady. And here what I'm doing, I'm just printing the number, okay, which is 10,000 times. If I'm using here in the for loop handle, eh, the program becomes slow. Why? Because it every time it clears or flushes out our uh, output buffer and again prints out here and starts the program again. So that is what happened by using the handle. But if we use just, you know, new line, then it become a fast program. That is a major difference. So when we want to write a performance application, then it's better to avoid a handle. Okay. But when can we use the handle? When we want output immediately, or when we are doing the debugging, or we want to print something before the input, then in those cases it's good to use the handle. Okay. So I hope I explained the difference between the handle and a new line clearly in this video. So that's it. Thank you. We'll come up with some other point in another video. Thank you.